Hi everyone, I'm Lucy and this is Memory Keeper Journals. So today I'm just going to create some more ephemera for the flip-flop journal. I've already made a few ephemera for it by watching Karen's channel, and some of them I've done on my own on the side, on days that I felt a little bit better. I have not been able to sit down and actually film for a while, so I've taken some of my time, and whenever I felt a little better, then I would just do a little bit at a time in my journal, and then eventually I will be showing you all of the things that I am adding to it. But we will continue decorating it together. So what you see me doing here is just organizing all of my leftover handmade paper that I have for Rose Hill Paper Cottage, and I'm going to be using some of these in the journal as well. This is one of the items that I'm going to be, or elements that I'm going to be using to decorate the journal. So you will see it throughout, the ephemera or even the pages and whatnot. I thought this was so cute, this little circle thing where she wrapped up her tags, and so I made it to fit the handmade tag that I made so that I can use it. So what I did was I glued it onto that. But what I want to tell you is, you see the background, I have all these pieces of collaged paper. That was a masterboard that I took, and I used all of Ruby and Pearl's digitals, and I cut them all into pieces, and I used some of the wallpaper to decorate, and I did my masterboard, and I think I showed it in the last video that I had already done it prior to doing the video. So I just wanted you guys to know that's exactly what I'm using. I use the masterboard and I alter it. I add things to it. I add pictures. I use it as a background, or I'll just use it just as is for a journal card or a tag or anything that I could use. It could be a pocket. It doesn't matter. I usually just use it on whatever I want, maybe a bookmark or whatnot, but it's so much easier to create when you have a masterboard, because then you don't have to worry about that you didn't make enough ephemera for your journal. I love doing that. Plus, at the same time, you get rid of all the scraps papers that you have used throughout the making of your journal. So you have so much ephemera scraps that you can do so many pieces of ephemera for that specific journal too. So it works out either way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is distress all of the journaling cards and the tags. And this one specifically is a very thin one because it would fit perfect in one of the pockets in the flip-flop journal. The journal is thin, it's narrow, so it makes it a lot easier for me to do it. I wanted the style to be kind of like the way Ruby and Pearl and Rose Hill from Paper Cottage do, which is a very torn edge, very vintagey style, but it still has my little twist on it because, of course, I like neat as well, and I like torn but not too much. I like grungy but not too much, so I just a little bit of everything. So yeah, it's not going to come out exactly, but the idea is the aesthetic of how they do it using the brown bags or brown paper, and tearing the pages instead of using my ruler or my scissors. It makes it so much nicer because the edges are a lot easier to distress, and it looks so much better that way. And I love that style. So I was really looking forward to incorporating that style into this flip-flop journal. So, how are you guys? I hope you guys are doing well and are getting ready for all the festivities of Thanksgivings and New Year's and Christmas. Well, Christmas and then New Year's, of course. I have not done anything. I've had a pretty rough week. Been flaring a lot, so I have not been feeling good. So I just do a little bit here and there, and of course I take care of my family and my home chores, but it's just a little bit at a time. I have to take it easy, but I'm okay, guys. I really am. I'm taking care of myself. I do what I need to do, so I know that I will get better. Little by little, I will get better. I have some appointments coming up this month of November, at the end of November, and another specialist that I will be seeing in December. So I hope that we can get some answers and some different ways that I can incorporate something better for my health, and I get to, get some answers to some of the questions that I have. But I'll be fine. I so far I've been doing good. I've been, taking care of myself. Everything has changed. A lot of what I eat and how I do things have changed. So I'm just adjusting. So it's gonna take some time. And as soon as I get better, I'll get back on the rhythm of things, little by little. And here I'm adding some of that dotted Swiss tulle material. I love, love. I actually purchased this one on Etsy. I believe Heather from Ruby and Pearl mentioned where she got hers. I couldn't remember where it was, but I did find it, so I was pretty happy to get some of that. I also buy a lot of my laces and trims and things like that from Crafty Me shop. So I have a little bit of a stack. I don't have a lot, but I have enough to create what I am creating lately. I do have a few other things that I want to show you guys I've been working on. I've been dying to show you guys some of the other things I've been working on too, because it's coming out so adorable. But because one of them is for a friend of mine that's been waiting for a while, I'm afraid if I put it here, she's gonna see it. And I don't want her to see it yet. Been working really hard on that one, little by little, because some days I don't feel well, but when she sees this journal, she is gonna flip. I know it. And here I'm gonna be using some of these reinforcer labels, and what I did was I distressed it with the same ink that I am using to distress the tags, and they came out pretty cool. Sometimes I use some of the inks or different colors of the inks that I have, and they're pretty cool when you don't want to use eyelets. My hands weren't doing so well, so I really didn't want to use it yet. I did get to use it for one of the cards, or the journaling cards. I wanted to have it on that one specifically because it's not a tag. I think that these reinforcers are very good to use, and they're easy access, and I glue them. I put more glue on it because it doesn't really stick very well. They're so old, so I just want to make sure that they stick well to the tag. But do you see that piece of background I have right there from the masterboard? I love it just like that. I mean, I would just cut a tag and use that. But I used part of it already, and the rest I'm gonna use it as is, because I just love the way it looks. It's so pretty. I think the collaging that I did, yes, it's a bit busy, but it's so pretty. I mean, you can add some lace on that and it's just perfect. I don't have to keep adding a lot of stuff to it. So that's what I love about doing masterboards. But do you see all the scraps that I have already made? I mean, it's insane, and I don't use all of it. I know I won't. Not for the journal, at least, So I just keep trying to get as much as I can, just to get rid of as much as I can, because otherwise I'm gonna have a pile again and it just keeps growing and growing. So difficult to get rid of. I hope that you're okay that I am doing a voiceover. I wanted to do it live, but during the day I don't think I wasn't feeling well either, and I had a little bit of music in the background just to relax, and so I didn't want to do that, put music in the background and talk, because I don't know what the legalities are when it comes to YouTube. They immediately put you as copywriting and all that stuff, so I didn't want to deal with that, so I just decided not to you know, just to record live like that when I was with the music on. But you see, look at the ephemera. Do you see the tags there? Those are the ones from chapter 1 digital. I will be using those just as is. I might add a little bit something here and there, maybe some handmade paper too, or you know, and a bow or something on the top just to make it look cute. But I will use it as is because they're pretty just like that. So yeah, you'll see. I have tons of little pieces from the masterboard that I've been cutting here and there, and those can also be used throughout the journal. But I want to finish decorating the journal with you guys, so on my next video I will show you the journal, and at the same time we will add all of these tags and cards that I'm making for it, and we'll find spots for it together. Look how cute that came out. Part of the masterboard, and then I covered it with a picture and a tag, a little label, handmade paper. Look at that. I used the same thing that she had. I take that one apart and I add a coffee dye paper on it, and then I go ahead and sew around it too. But you see this one? Okay, I'm going to cut that one and I'm going to make a journaling card. For this one I used a tearing ruler, and there it is. How cute is that? So now I'm gonna start. I take out Sampoole's pictures because I have a few of them that I love. I can't remember the name of them, but I'll link them below in case you guys are interested in looking into those, because they are so cute, and they're in her Etsy shop too. I printed them really small, and some of them a little bit bigger, like a picture size, like a pocket picture size, and I'm using them in my ephemera that I am making for decoration. So not only the girls that I showed there with the ballet girls, they're so cute, I wanted to add some of these backgrounds. So I just took whatever I thought I would use and just put it on my desk, just because I want to have enough choices. So depending on what comes at me that I feel that would look really good, that's the ones that I would use. I won't use all of them, but you know, it's always good to have plenty of choices. I was looking at these cute little tiny tags. I always look at them, I want to use them, and then I just say, nah, I'm not using them. I don't know, one day eventually I'll use them, I just don't know where. So here you see this picture right here that just caught my attention, and I don't know if it was because of the lavenders that were in one of those pots or what, and I think it's because every time we go into our Facebook group for caring at Grace Be Creations, the moderator Christina, she always puts milk, I think it's milk something she calls it, and they're all white like you know, cups and bowls and things like that. And I don't know, I know that's a term for that and whatnot, but I never knew about it until now when I've been watching and seeing all what she posts on Facebook. And so I think that caught my eye. So when I saw Sampoole's picture with those bowls, I was like, oh, I want to use that. I now is when I say that, but at the moment I didn't understand why was I so drawn to it. And I think it's because of that, because every time we go into Facebook, that's what I see. I love that dotted one too. That one I got from Crafty Me Shop, I think, or was it gifted to me? I can't remember. Guys, it's so hard for me to remember. Once I mix everything, I don't know who and what and how I got it, to be honest. Some things they stand out because I have them separated, but I get to use them anyway. So here I think I used 3 of them. So the big dotted one, and then I used the small polka dotted one because it looks really good on top of that one for some reason. And I guess it's because the big one didn't have that many polka dots as I put it on the card, so I needed something to show. But then what I do is I use a background for this picture, so I take away all the white borders and then I cover the background with some brown paper, and it came out really nice. So just watch and see. I think that style of the paper bag on, you know, just to decorate, and also doing this going with your nails around the cards to make it look a little bit old, and then distressing it a little bit actually looks so much better, and it gives it that vintage look. And I think Heather has it down really good because it did work for me. I've tried it before and it doesn't look, but this time around it did. So I was really happy with the way this one came out, and you'll see. So I had some pieces of brown paper bag that I had in one of the packages I received. So I'm over here just using every little piece of paper or anything that I get in the mail. I will use it. Trying my best to use everything, so I recycle pretty much everything that I get. I wanted to do videos on like trash to treasure, where I can show you what I do with all these packaging and papers and paper bags and these cute bags that I have saved for like gifts and stuff like that. And I have not been able to do much. I wanted to do some decorating in my craft room too, but you know what, when I feel better I will. I have a few ideas that I want to do, and I want to show you guys as I do it so that I can decorate my craft room with you guys as well, and we could do it together. I want to move things around, and I wanted to I thought I wanted to paint the room, but I really like it in white because I can put whatever color I want, you know. But we'll see. I still have not really made a plan of exactly what I want, but I do want to showcase my style in my craft room. But it's also my office, so it'll be / office because I'm gonna be working from home too, so I need to be able to have it coordinating together just to look good, you know. So here is where I decided that I wanted to do an eyelet on this card because I don't know, I think because of the journaling card, I just wanted it to have that purple sari silk that I have there, only because it matches perfectly with that picture. But what I end up doing is sewing it. So now I'm getting ready to sew it first. So you see I bring my sewing machine over because it's right next to me, and then I end up fixing the camera in a way that you guys can see as I'm sewing. I think the first one I started using a zigzag, but I only did it on one side. I didn't sew the whole thing, and only because I didn't want to go over the handmade paper because of the embossed part. I don't want it to take from that. And see, this one is the one that I took apart again and put some of that coffee dye paper on it and also sewed around it. I have forgotten to do that prior to sewing it, so I figure I get it done now quick. Do you guys see my little butterfly ring? That is so cute. My husband got it for me because he knows I love butterflies. I thought that was so sweet. And it's the color, it's amethyst color. That's the color of my birth month, which is on February. So I just thought it was so sweet. It's so cute. I love it. Here I'm just adding whatever is left over of the coffee dye paper. I'm just using it and just bringing it over so that it looks tattered and it looks really good. And now I just go and sew around it. Okay, so the journaling card, I covered with handmade paper. I did not want it to be, it just didn't turn into a journaling card. It just turned out to be something to decorate with. So it might just become a pocket in one of the pages. So we'll see what it will be. But I felt like I needed to cover that one with some of that handmade paper, and just to make it look pretty on both sides. And I love the way it came out. I actually sewed around that one and it came out really, really pretty. I was really happy with that one. So eventually I'll add, maybe, I don't know yet, but I might add a charm to it, because you'll see how cute it would look with the eyelet and the sari silk in the corner. It'll look really cute. You'll see. And I love stitching them because for some reason it gives it a little bit more stability, and they don't break easy, and I like that. It just makes it stronger for some reason. Here I'm just adding the layers of the tulle with some of that fabric tack, and yeah, and that was it. I just have to wait for it to dry before I put it on my sewing machine so it doesn't get stuck on my needle. And that little piece on the right side, even if it's sticking out, I didn't mind that side. I did clean it on the left side. Maybe if I need to clean it later on, I will. But in the meantime, I think I like the way it looks, so I'm going to leave it like that. I thought that by now I would have changed the camera to the sewing machine, but I think I did it later on. I couldn't remember. But I have to have it next to me because I can't be getting up and down constantly. So if I have it next to me, it makes it a lot easier for me to do my work. But look how cute. See? Just simple single stitch all around. And I might leave the thread hanging off of it as well. So now I'll add this string back on. This is the string that Rose Hill Paper Cottage Heather had used in the package. So I'm gonna use it on this card because I'm not gonna go to waste. I'm not gonna let it go to waste. I mean, definitely gonna use it. It's so cute. Wow, guys, I really thought that by now I would have changed it so that you guys can see how I was sewing it, but I don't remember when I did it. Maybe it was almost at the end. That's crazy. I could have sworn it was before. And that one didn't do it so well in the end, so I just took the strings off. But it's okay. It's not gonna be perfect. That's how I like it, all tattered and handmade. It could be a pocket, it could be a flip out, it could be anything. So we'll see how I will use it. But we'll do it together. So in this one is the one that I said I used an eyelet. But I think that was the only one I did. See, I have to use both my hands because, man. And I didn't even do it as tight as it should be. But I just couldn't get my hands to do that. By the time I was done doing these pieces of ephemera, my hands were already hurting, so I couldn't do anymore. Look how cute that looks, and it matches perfect with those flowers, the lavender in the picture. I just thought I needed to, you know, bring that color out too. It just looks so cute. And it's sour silk, so it kind of falls apart. So I was just trying to make it look really cute. Just hanging on the side. These I had done prior to, so I had these three done with some of these images that I love that were part of the Ruby and Pearl digitals, and I just made them in the collage, part of the collage. And so now I just decided, well, these will become tags, but I wasn't sure if I was going to use my coffee dye paper, or if I was going to use cardstock, or if I was going to use the brown paper. But I, in the end, ended up using my coffee dye paper because I wanted them to be journaling spots for writing and whatnot. So I ended up just tearing the paper and gluing it onto the specific cards that I had made, or the collages that I had made. And those collages are, that was an idea that Heather had posted in one of her videos in her channel, where she was doing some collages on book pages, I think, and things like that. So I was like, well, I already did my collage on my masterboard, so I can just add a picture onto it and decorate around it. So I took my pictures, and I one of them would use like coffee dye paper in the background or something in the background, just so that it doesn't look so plain, and it would give it some kind of a border once I can glue it on the masterboard part. So it looks really good. It didn't come out so bad because I didn't want it to be overwhelming and like very busy, because I did have a lot on the masterboard already. Sometimes the masterboards that I make are very simple. I make it with all the vintage papers, and like in 3 different shades. It could be like a cream and a darker one and then a brown, or some even white. And then I can use it for anything, any journal, any project that I'm using, and I can add to it and it won't look so bad. So that's also a very good idea, just, when creating a masterboard. In this one, I wanted it to, in one of these, I think I left it a little bit longer. The piece that was left over on the bottom of the coffee dye paper, I wanted it to be part of the writing, so I left it. And so it's extra. So it's going to be folded behind like that, and I'm going to sew around it so it'll make it sturdier. And I also distressed all around it, and it's going to be a perfect journaling spot with a secret flip out. So you can write a lot more than you want it. So if you want to write a list or a little quote or something, you got plenty of space to write it on. And that's it, guys. It's very easy. Very easy. Just use what you got, and I didn't even use the ruler. I just tore all those papers and glue it onto the back, and it looks tatty and it looks beautiful like that. No clean edges, just perfect. And if you see it in person, it looks so much better. It's not the same when you're looking at a video or something. I might just take some pictures and post it on my Instagram so you guys can see them. But it looks so different. It's so pretty. It has character. It's got some texture. I added some lace on them. They look really, really good. So I'm gonna leave you with that, and I hope you like this video. Will be coming very soon. I am going to be filming decorating the rest of the journal, and then we can do a flip through, guys, and we can see how cute it came out. And I'm still trying to decide whether I want to put it in the store or what. I'm not sure yet, so we'll see what happens. But if you really like this video and the process of how I did these journaling cards and ephemera for the flip-flop journal, don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave me a comment. Ask me any questions, anything that you would like. Oh, there it is. Look, see, that's where I actually put the machine so you guys can see when I was stitching. Too late, right? Almost at the end. But anyway, enjoy, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and that you enjoy the video. And thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. Bye now.